Welcome to the Center of Peace. Is that better? I'm not used to this technical stuff, so bear with me. Okay, this has been a long time coming. Me sitting here talking to you folks, telling my story. It was only appropriate that Callista there helped me up here, going through some physical things. But like a car, if you don't take care of it, it ain't gonna work. So that's what I'm going through. But the first day I came to the Center of Peace, I was greeted by Callista and Cynthia. And she told me back then, "You're a practitioner." Yeah, right. I came there because I was in a dark place, very dark place. No matter how bright the sun was shining, my life was still dark. In a short period of time, my son went away to college, and then we found out he was a daddy. My grandmother passed away. 2 years later, we found out my mother had pancreatic cancer, and within 30 days, she was gone. After she was gone and we got all that settled, my sister, my late sister, started to have health issues. And as was the practice in my family, I'm taking care of everybody. I wasn't taking care of me. I was lost. You know, like that song says, I was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. I knew I needed something. I just didn't know what it was. And my Christian friends, "Girl, you need you some Jesus." Well, okay, that might be true, but I knew what I didn't want from God. I didn't want that angry God, that hellfire and I was scared of him. You know, I didn't want to go to a church where a couple of times a year, hello? A couple of times a year, I was an abomination. I was living in sin. I didn't want all that. I wanted some place where I could go and just release. Thank God for the internet. I went on there and I found different places. I found the Quaker faith. I found agape, or as I used to call it, agape. I didn't know that, no, that's what it was. But the website for the Center of Peace, I saw those dimples. And I saw young Reverend T. And I looked through and I saw happy people. And I didn't see any Bible verses. I didn't see any of the normal things that you see when you find church. So I said, I'll give it a try. Walk through the door, and there she is. "Hi, I'm new here. Could you show me to the sanctuary?" "Not until you hug me." I've walked into a cult. Okay, it's only 2 hours, so I'm good. She takes me to the sanctuary, and Amanda Henderson was practicing, getting ready to sing. And I was like, well, if I don't like the message, I'm gonna like the music. And I sat there, and as people came in, they started coming up to me and hugging me and greeting me like they knew me. And I'm like, yeah, that's a cult. I'm not gonna be happy here. I'm not gonna be happy here. But I stayed, and then, you know, as you people just experienced, when any new member, people stand up. Oh, Lord. Welcome to the Center of Peace. We know who you are. Oh, this is a cult. Oh, what have I gotten myself into? And then Reverend T gave the message, and she was talking to me, and I sat there, and I was like, how does she know? How does she know? She knew exactly what I needed. And then I had the little program, and it had that. It's exactly what I was looking for. But at the end of service, after we released and let go, I got the heck up out of there. But there was something there that drew me back week after week after week, and it's a cult, and I'm a cult member, but there was no cultishness. There was only love. I never experienced that. I was anti-hug at first. Now, you can't walk through that door without hugging me. I will hurt you. I will hurt you. Because it's love. And I didn't experience, I lived in a life where we weren't affectionate. We didn't say, I love you. We, you know, My kids knew that me putting my foot in the street every day to keep a roof over their head, that was my love. I didn't have to tell you that. You saw that. That's not true. As I started to come every Sunday and get more into the teaching, and I started to take the class, and I started to see things in a different way, I took foundations. And I never cried so much in my life, but I wasn't embarrassed. It was a good cry. It was cathartic. And I kept coming back, and I kept taking classes. But I wasn't going to be a practitioner. I'm helping me. I'm healing me. I'm taking these classes. Radical forgiveness taught me to forgive not only the person that I was angry with, but forgive myself. Because I held on to the falsehood that they had done something to me. And I'm taking all of this in, and I'm seeing a change not only in my spiritual self, but in my everyday self. I'm no longer angry. I no longer find fault with things. I no longer have road rage. Because I'm one with that person, and I don't know what they went through to display their emotions in that way. And I was like, this ain't a cult, but this stuff works. I did belief in action because I was looking for a new job. I worked an hour and a half away from home, every day, one way, every day. And I asked God for two things, a new job and a new car. And within 3 months, I had a job 15 minutes away from home, because I trusted that God would give me what I need. So, yo, girl, you growing. This stuff works. You believe in it. It is, ooh, goodness. But it's not a cult. It's good. It's love. It's all that I need. So I kept coming, and I kept taking classes. I kept coming, and I kept taking classes. And the classes opened wounds, and I cried, and I healed. And sometimes I would heal from the inside out, and those burdens were gone. But sometimes I healed from the outside in. And then I would have to go back through all that stuff and dig out, because the infection was still there. The wound was healed, but the infection was there. This science of mind, this center of peace, this congregation, this Reverend Twana, all these people just poured into me every day, not just on Sundays, but every day. But not once did I thank anybody. I was taking and taking and taking and taking. And you know, one of the things that we talk about is thoughts being things. And I thought, you don't show gratitude for this stuff, it's going to go away and you're going to be in the same place you were before. So I started to be grateful. I start every morning now with a prayer of gratitude and thanksgiving, because this stuff works, and it's coming in hand over fist. And there's love, unconditional love. You people love me just because. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything special. I can get up here and just be. And I feel the love coming towards me. The best thing that ever happened to me was the darkness that I had found myself in, because from that darkness came this light. From that hurt came this joy. I have a better relationship with my family. Although whenever we are talking about something and I get on my center of peace, we don't want to hear that church stuff. You're going to hear it whether you want to or not, because it works. So I just want everybody to take away from that this works if you do the work, if you accept that you are one with the Creator, because I had a big problem with that. First time I heard somebody call God it, I was ready to run. It was scary to me because that's not where I came from. But I am one with it, because it can't be defined as any one thing. It is all. And I just adopted that life, and I live it every day, and I'm so grateful for it. So I just want to say, I want to thank Ernest Holmes. I want to thank Zuma's boyfriend. What was his name? Zuma's boyfriend. Emerson, yes. I want to thank Troward. And when I got through, I want to thank everybody, all of them. When I got to the point where I had finished all the prerequisite classes, the next step is naturally practitioner studies. And I convinced myself, you can take the class, it'll help you. You ain't got to be no practitioner. Somebody paying close to no mind, you ain't got to be no practitioner. You can do what you want to do. And I took the class. Boy, that was an eye-opener. That's when I really came to the realization that you have to heal from within. Because all that stuff that I thought I had gotten over, all those tears that I had cried, that was nothing. But it didn't stop me. It strengthened me. It propelled me further. And again, in the back of my mind, this is for you. It's not for anybody else. You don't have to do this. You don't have to be no practitioner. I got through Prac 1, and then I took Prac 2, because, that's just the natural progression. That's just where you're supposed to go. You just ain't got to be no practitioner. And I held that attitude for a long time until I took the test, and I didn't pass. And I want to be a practitioner. I really want to do this. And this practitioner corps, Reverend Twana, surrounded me with love and support. And I don't want to sit up here and cry because that's not cute. But they surrounded me and held me up and gave me the strength to go on, to not quit. And I took that test again, and I passed it and they only made one change to how I approached the test. Instead of trying to find the right answer, I eliminated all the wrong answers. And I was able to pass the test. Then there was the oral panels. I talk a lot of stuff, so I can pass. That was the easy part. The people giving that test were like family. I never met these people a day in my life. They were on Zoom. But because we're all in this teaching, we're all one, and they're living that. And I'm like, dang. Even after all these years and after all this time, that's still kind of, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's just, we are all one, and it's surprising. And so I look back on that time, and I passed, of course. I got my stole, which was what it was all about. I look good in purple. But in preparing to speak today and going within, I said, what am I going to talk about? What message am I going to give? What can come from this? And I got 2 words, growth and gratitude. And when I look at my life from the time I walked through the door, I am not that person. And you've grown, not when other people see it, but when you see it in yourself. When I know that I react differently, that I have patience, that I don't cuss as much as I used to. Because I know that the person that I'm dealing with is one with me. We're the same. And people out there at the bus stop, they're no different than me. Whether you're black, white, pink, purple, or green. We're all the same. We're all one. And when you embrace that and acknowledge that, you grow not only in your spiritual self, but in your personal self. I am so much more than I was when I walked through these doors. And I owe it all to you all, to you, to Reverend Sheila, who I never met, but is one of my best friends. Going through this journey, I go back on YouTube, I still do it, and look at her old messages, just to reaffirm what I know to be true, that we are one, and this is right, and this is good, and this is where I am. So I just want to express my gratitude. I want to express my gratitude to Callista for bringing me in that day. I want to express my gratitude to each and every practitioner who either taught a class or gave a prayer or gave a hug to every person in this building right now, every person listening on YouTube or Facebook. You have all been a part of my journey. You have all been a part of my growth, and I'm grateful. And in showing that gratitude, I know that this is an unending thing, that I will keep getting this growth and keep feeling this and knowing this and just the love and, oh, the babies. I love kids. I love kids. But it's been an honor and a pleasure, and it's something that I can never repay. Whether it's as a practitioner or as a friend, I can never repay the love. The only thing I can do is continue to give it, to continue to receive it, to continue to express it, to continue to let it guide my life, to know that I am one with God, that God is all there is. That when I wake up every morning, God is with me. That I am never alone, because God is always with me. I never thought I would sit in front of anybody and say that. That's the growth, but there's the gratitude. Thank you, Reverend T, for being an awesome, awesome, awesome spiritual leader, for pushing me in those classes and dragging out the best, because you had to drag it. Sometimes it wasn't coming voluntarily. You had to drag it a little bit. In those classes and the phone calls and the support. Thank you to the Practitioner Corps again for all that you do and all that you've been. My life will never be the same, and I can walk out of that door today and never see another face in here ever again, move to another state, city or state. I will always be a part of the Center of Peace, because this is where I became me. This is where I found me, not Susie from Willow Grove, not the sister, not the mother, not the daughter, not the friend, not the person that everybody depended on, not the person that was there for everybody, but the person that's there for me. And being there for me, then I can be there for everybody. So my growth is palpable, and I've been able to see it. And I just want to express again, I'm so grateful. There is nothing that I would trade about this experience, except maybe Callista being bossy. Yeah. But just the opportunity to share this story with you all, to share my transition, as it were. You know, just a transition. I transitioned from a naysayer, from someone who was separate, who lived a separate life. I can compare my old self to Sybil. My trauma and tragedies had been so bad that they separated me from God, from myself, from my family. And the Center of Peace was my therapist that put me back together and made me whole. Almost perfect and not quite complete. But I know I'm on the right track. I know this is the right place to be. That the fact that I can sit here in front of you is a testament to this teaching and the confidence that it gives. I sit up straight when I'm talking about this place. Again, I get on my family's nerves when I'm talking about this place. But if you take nothing else from this, take that this works. Thoughts are things, what you think you bring to you. And it's all, I've lived it. I've experienced it. Every day is a belief in action, because every day you get something that you've wanted. It may not come when you want it, but it gets there. Everything that I've learned here, everything that I've experienced here is 100% the truth. And I can say that with confidence and with love. And the last thing I want to say, I don't know if am I going over time? Do I have? I just want to say I love y'all. And that's something that I've never been able to tell people. But even moreover, the growth is I can look in the mirror and tell myself I love me. And this place is full of love. And I just want to say thank you. Now, I don't know if my message was long enough. I don't know if it was clear enough. But I just want to express the gratitude, thankfulness, for the love. I mean, like I said, you people love me just because. You love me through my silliness. You love me through my infirm. You've taught me not to accept that this is me. This is just what's happening to my physical. I've learned so much. And I'm so, again, I can't express more how grateful I am to each and every one of you. Zoma sit back there all smiling and shiny. She's always smiling. I've never seen her without a smile. Just everyone here, just, I love you people. And I don't want to start crying like I said, but, I think that's all I got to say. So if the practitioners wouldn't mind coming up here, we can, we'll just take a deep breath, knowing that God is all there is, that God is the guiding light of our lives. God is love. God is trust. God is faith. God is endurance. God is all there is. And I know that I am one with it. Wherever I am, it is. It guides my life. It is the head of my life. And I know this truth for me, and I know this truth for everyone in here. We are one. We are all one and the same. Because we are all one with all there is. And I'm so grateful for that. I know that being one with God means that any challenge that faces us at any time of the day or night, any part of our lives, if we open ourselves up to God, it will work itself out in divine order. It will be what it will be, and it will be all good because it will be all God. And I'm grateful for this knowing. I'm grateful for this teaching. I'm grateful for Ernest Holmes. I'm grateful for all of those who helped him create this teaching. I'm grateful for the Centers for Spiritual Living. I'm grateful for the Center of Peace. I am grateful for each and every person in here. And I'm grateful for me. I'm grateful for all that I've been through, that I can share it and maybe help one other person. If that's all I can do, then I'm grateful for it. And it is in this gratitude, this love, this acceptance, that I merely just release these words into the law of mind, knowing that they've already been acted upon. They will not return void. And just anchored together with me by saying, and so it is.
And knowing that we are one with God and one with each other, let's go forth with our smiles, knowing that we are the peace that the world needs. And so it is.